All right, it's time to catch up with one of our favorites. We've known this guy for a long time, former UFC veteran, longtime American top team member and coach, and of course the head coach for Tyron Woodley. It's Dean Thomas, also a star in Dana White Looking for a Fight. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? I'm just out here chilling, man. Just trying to stay away from the Rona.
Did I get all that right? You're still an American top team coach, but there's certain fighters where you're the head guy, right? Like Woodley.
No, I'm actually not a coach there no more. I actually just right during this pandemic, I decided to move on.
No, how about that? Okay, so now
Yeah, I know,
you're
like perfect timing, right? Like when everybody's losing their jobs, I actually quit mine.
you're doing your own thing now. You got your own stable of fighters you just work with, or
Yeah, I got my own stable that I'm trying to work with, so I'm just trying to avoid like having too many people to work with. I just want to work with the people I like, and that's it. You know, I'm too old. Look at all this gray in this beard. I'm too old to be working with everybody.
was it tough to leave? Did any feelings get hurt? Any fighters like, oh man, we love having you around the gym. I mean, you've been there for a long time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was tough to leave, but you got to do it what you feel is right for you. But it was certainly tough to leave. But I don't know if any feelings were hurt. I'm sure that some of the fighters are going to miss me, but they're going to, it's American Top Team. They're going to be all right.
Where are you going to be based now? Are you going to just travel to the individual camps for whatever fighter you're working with, or will you have a home base? Will you have your own gym, your own team?
Well, I'm still trying to figure all that out. Like I know I do want to do some traveling and train with some different people and continue my education and keep learning. But but eventually I am going to settle down and have my own little spot, not like a gym, but just a place where I can train people that I want to train. I'm not trying to have like a school or nothing like that, but just a place to train people that have fights coming up, or just people that I can grow with, build relationships with, and grow with them. I found that I had the most enjoyment and success doing it that way. Like, I'm with Tyron Woodley right now, and I just, we have so much fun, and it's just such a good journey to take this long journey, as opposed to like dealing with guys that you don't know and feeling like you have to train everybody. So I just want to build relationships with people and have a good time.
So the timing of it is just a coincidence because of the pandemic. It had nothing to do with the pandemic. This is something that's been brewing for a while.
Yeah, well, yeah, it had nothing to do with the pandemic. It was just kind of timing, because I was off on with Tyron. We were training for Leon Edwards, and I had been gone from the gym for 2 weeks, and it just kind of hit me. It was like, do I even want to go back? And I said to myself, I don't even really want to go back. I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and I know that I'm valuable enough that I could do this on my own, that I don't need a team. Like, and I'm not saying that like that I'm, the best guy in the world or the smartest guy, but I just know what I'm worth, and I know that I'm valuable alone to do it. And if I do need help in certain areas, I can find it and I can get it. I can bring people in, but I don't need to have, that whole team atmosphere.
Update us on who are your current fighters that you're working with. We know T Wood.
Yeah.
Is he your first in prime, or do you have like some others that are like coming
Yes.
with you, or
Of names, I'm working with T Wood, Jillian Robertson. I'm talking with Greg Hardy. We're about to finalize it. Hannah Goldie, I'm working with her now. Uh, Possibly Shorty Torres. So, and that right there alone will keep me busy. So again, like I'm trying to build relationships, and I want to be able to make them better, as opposed to just throwing them in the room and saying, "All right, let's see who emerges."
So, Dean, I got to ask you, I don't know what the ripple effect will be, but when I think of Greg Hardy, I think of American Top Team. Does that mean he comes out of American Top Team, or you work with him within the confines of American Top Team?
Those
How
are the,
does that?
those are the things. Yeah, those are the things we're working out. Like I don't know how it's going to work just yet. Um, I'm sure. I didn't leave on bad terms. I hope I didn't anyway. But I didn't leave on bad terms, so I don't think that they're going to have a problem with me working with him if that's the case. But if they do, that's up to Greg on what Greg's decision is on what he wants to do. But um, I don't know. Those are some things we got to work out.
All right, let's focus on Tyron Woodley. We know more more pieces of the puzzle are filling in. At one point, it was Edwards. In between Edwards and Burns, which got locked down, it seemed like recently in the last couple of days, I mean, Woodley was out there talking to Izzy and Colby and Uzma. I mean, there's just so many names that come close to T Wood, but eventually it was settled in on Gilbert Burns. We know it's no longer the 23rd, it's the 30th, and we don't know if it'll be in Las Vegas. We think we've heard Arizona. So as a coach, as you're trying to build up a game plan and have your fighter peak at the right time, has this been pretty difficult? Like, that's different styles of fighters. That's possible different locations, different climates, different days in which you have to peak and prepare the body to lose weight. Has this been driving you nuts?
You know, it would seem like it would be driving us nuts, but this is something that we've been preparing for a long time. And this is something that it's like perfect timing where Tyron is with his career right now and where he is mentally in life and everything else, because we've been through so much together that at this point now we said, who cares? He doesn't care who he fights. He doesn't care where he fights. In fact, he wants to fight 3 times in the next like 3 months. He wants to fight every month, and it doesn't matter who or where. This is where we're at right now. It's like, it doesn't matter because the whole goal right now is just to kick butt. So, you know, you could change the location, you could change the people, but we got a job to do. And, you know, time is running out. We got a job to do. So it would seem like it would be frustrating. And in the beginning, you know, a few months ago when we were dealing with when the pandemic happened, we were dealing with London. It was like, it was annoying then, but then we just said, you know what? None of this matters. It doesn't matter if it's Colby. It doesn't matter if it's Usman. It doesn't matter who it is. We got a job to do and we need to win. And that's all that counts.
Dean, I want to talk to you a little bit about something we talked about with King Mo. We were talking about Dominic Cruz and how long he was a champion and how he was sort of used to fighters having to come to him because he's the champ. And with his fighting style, how that could maybe affect him not being a champion and now not having people really chase him as much. In the case of Tyron Woodley, do you think that's ever, is that a possibility? Is that something that we're just overanalyzing, or does that happen? Is that something that you almost have to retrain?
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is it, as a fighter, you always have to be reinventing yourself and always be improving, and you can't be the same guy over and over. The thing with Dominic is he was a great champion and a really great fighter, very intelligent fighter, but he's not the athlete that could keep up with some of the younger guys. So he needed them to fight a certain way. So he needed guys to fight a certain way in order for him to have success. But Tyron is different. Tyron's a different type of athlete. He doesn't need people to fight a certain type of way in order for him to have success. So we're not really concerned about that. I mean, obviously there are trends where you see champions that, that were on top for so long, and then once they have that loss, then they just can't seem to find it and get it back. But we want to try to change that. We want to be different. We want to be that guy who, okay, he lost his belt. He had one bad performance, but that was it. It was just that bad performance. But we going back out this time to show the world what's up.
From a coaching standpoint, I can't imagine what it would be like preparing for a test in Leon Edwards and putting so much into a game plan and all that, and then just not having it play out. What does that do for you mentally to just not have almost like when we talk about fighters, to have that release? You never really got it on the coaching side. Does that bother you, or do you feel like
no, it doesn't bother me. I know the game, man. I know the game. In fact, I was talking to a young fighter earlier today, and I just said, and this game is weird. Like, you're going to have more fights drop out than you actually fight. So like, I'm kind of used to that. I've been doing this over 20 years, so I'm used to, thinking you're going to get a fight and then it doesn't happen. Thinking you're going to get a fight and it doesn't happen. So I'm used to that. I feel bad for the athletes because the athletes are the ones that, really suffer. But from a coaching perspective, I've done studies on so many times. Like I studied fighters that were going to fight them, and it just made me a better coach. So I didn't look at it as though, I wasted my time. I look at it as I learned so much about the game because it just forced me to study people, because I had to study them, analyze them, and find ways to win.
You've worn a lot of different hats in your career, as a fighter, as an analyst, as a coach. There's going to be a new generation of fighters. They're going to come in, and they're only going to know you as Dean Thomas, the coach. When they go, Dean Thomas, that's a great coach. Some of them may forget that you actually fought, that part of your identity. Have you experienced that yet? And do you know, like, if it hasn't happened, what do you think that'll feel like?
I appreciate it, actually. In fact, like, some people only know me from doing Dana White's show. So people think I'm just a guy, the funny black guy on Dana White's show. So like all that is important to me though. Like I appreciate all of it because it just shows that for all the things that I do, standing alone, I can handle my own. So it's not like I'm getting jobs based on who I was before. I'm getting jobs based on what I can do on my own. So, regardless of me, being a fighter, I'm a good coach. Regardless of me being a good coach, I can go on Dana White's show and be entertaining. Regardless of that, I can go on and do broadcasting. I can do anything that I put my mind to on its own without having to have the resume.
So, Dean, let's close up here with a couple random questions that I've been dying to ask you because it's been a while since we caught up. Game plans. You used to devise game plans, and I think there was a fee involved back in the day. It was a business of yours.
Yeah.
Do you still do that for fighters and fight camps, or did you get away from that?
Well, when I was working with Top Team, I was doing it to all them guys for free. In fact, I'm still doing it I just did one for Amanda right now. So like I'm still capable of doing them. I haven't been doing them, but I'm still going to do them, and I'm going to charge obviously, but I was doing it for Top Team for nothing. And just so that we could get those wins and just help us get those wins. But it has made me such a better coach to be able to just sit down and just analyze fighters all day. And for me, like that was the value that I got out of it, even more so than the money.
And just so people know, by the time you were done with your research, did you present like a three-page email or just a couple bullet points, or was it just a conversation? Like, how official was your breakdown, and did you ever keep a record of how you did? And I'm sure you did well, but like, were you like 90 and 10 or anything like that you can share?
When I first started doing it, I would give the reports on paper, but I saw like fighters and people in this game are not great students, so they're not used to like reading things in paper. They're used to, they're very visual. So I got out of that and I taught myself how to use like a really basic editing program. I started editing it, and then I would make bullet points in the edits, almost like a PowerPoint presentation. So my scouting reports would be anywhere from 3 minutes, depending on how much footage I had, 3 minutes to maybe 8 minutes, almost like a PowerPoint presentation with all the bullet points and notes that I wanted, and then I would write a little bit of a breakdown at the end, and then just say, if you guys have questions, come see me. But depending on who it was, I would say these are the primary sparring partners that you should be using. These are the things that you should do in order to win. And if I really cared about them winning, I would really go deeper into the scouting report.
Is there a scouting report you can tell us publicly that you're most proud of, because it was followed to a T, and is there anything from that scouting report that you would be able to share, even if it happened 10 years ago or something?
Well, I think the first one that I really invested so much into, that I put into, was Amanda and Ronda Rousey. And this is when I was like, this is a fool's bet, because Amanda was like the underdog in that fight, I think. And I was like, after studying Ronda, I realized that, she was smoke and mirrors is what I could say. And she wasn't as good as everybody thought she was. I mean, she did some things better than everybody else, but she wasn't as good as everybody thought she was. So I put a lot of effort into that, and I watched her, and I saw that she would throw punches at the same time with two different hands, and she was really awkward in certain spots. So I was like, wow, this is going to be a really easy fight for Amanda, and it turned out to be a really easy fight for Amanda.
All right, now let me ask you a random from Dana White looking for a fight. When you guys were in Hawaii and he's standing on, I'm being generous here by calling it a cliff.
Oh, come on now.
He was there for 3 hours, and I sat there the whole 30, 45 minutes, and I thought for sure at the end, because you guys always come through. You guys are G's, man. I've seen you, the bull riding and public speaking, the open mics, all that stuff. So I'm not going to discredit there, but as I'm watching, I'm like, he's going to jump. It turns out he didn't jump, but there was a couple angles I thought that sold you guys out. I was like, that ain't that high. I mean, at first, I was like, are these the cliffs of Acapulco or something like that? But in the end, why didn't someone just give him a little friendly shove and it would have been done? He would have survived it. You and I know that, both.
We thought about that. We thought about going up there and just pushing them off. Now, first though, let me say this: that it was about 30 feet. I don't know what in terms of like jumping off cliffs, but 30 feet is high to me, and it's a lot higher when you're looking down. So it was, but luckily for me, I didn't really look down, and I didn't jump from the highest point. So I don't really get full credit for jumping, but based on the fact that I can't swim, I should get some credit. But yeah, we were all pretty surprised that Dana didn't jump. Like that was the one we swore that he would jump because Dana's a prideful dude. And I will say this, he didn't jump that day, but I think that's going to eat in him for the rest of his life. And he's going to go back one day and jump off of that cliff.
I certainly hope that that's the case because I think there's unfinished business there. And I have a feeling he'll do it.
And it's embarrassing too.
The last one is this. Goes had a good question earlier. He asked, do some of the young fighters even know, what you did? You had 26 wins in your career. You had 22 finishes, which is pretty amazing. You went after it. And here's another fun fact as I was looking, at your name and who you dealt with or whatever. Georgie Karakanyan is going to fight Benson Henderson soon. Clay Guida, Jeremy Stevens, they're still fighting. Like, literally, I can't believe how much of a crossover that is because, it's been a while since you fought. And it's been a while since you fought the latter two that I mentioned. But still, you even scroll down further. And, of course, your partner in crime, Matt Serra, you got the win over him. Here's the long-winded question that I wanted to ask you. Even though you didn't win a UFC belt, is there a little bit of you that is prideful that you got key wins, but at one point or another you did beat somebody that once wore a belt? Like, have you ever thought of that?
No, I haven't. Like sometimes people will bring that up to me and be like, "Oh, you beat, Jens Pulver, or you have a win over Matt Serra." And to me, I don't know. Like I look at that stuff like now is like high school stuff. I mean, it was so long ago. Like some of that stuff was so long ago. It's almost like having high school wins or like wins in college. Like I don't even look at it now. Now I'm just like, what are we doing now? How can we move forward? Where's everybody doing now? So like, Matt Serra, we pick on each other about the fight we had, but at the end of the day, man, that's my boy. That's like my best friend. So I don't know. I don't really look at it and think, oh man, I got wins over this guy who won a UFC belt. I'm thinking now, like, man, that was so long ago. I don't even care. I'm more so concerned with what I'm doing in coaching as far as helping Tyron get his belt back, seeing how far Greg Hardy can go, seeing what I can do with Jillian Robertson. I'm just really focused on what I can do as a coach and how I can help these people win championships, or at least win, not even that, have long-lasting careers like I had. Because there's so many people, and you guys know because y'all been around forever too, there's so many people who's been in this game for so long that you don't even know where they're at now. Like they're gone. And I've been able to have a career in MMA doing different things and just having a good time, because I'll be damned if I get a real job or end up cutting grass somewhere.
All right, we'll close with this. I certainly hope at some point in time, whether it's at a club or a restaurant or something, if you see Mayorga out there somewhere, man, put him or something. You owe him a good slap or something.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. I owe Mayorga, but he was a lot of fun, man. That was a good time in my career, regardless of what happened. But those are some memories that I'll never forget. And I mean, again, like it's just all about having a long-lasting career in this game and being able to have memories that you can share. And the fact that I got an opportunity to do that with Mayorga and him, blowing smoke in my face and having that press conference and just the whole ordeal was iconic at the time. But it was just a memory that, that not many people will have because their careers are so short and they don't do enough in this game.
We appreciate the time as always. It's a great catch-up. We covered a lot. First things first, obviously it appears we'll be seeing you here in Las Vegas in a couple of weeks. So hopefully we'll see you in person. Stay healthy, man. The Rona ain't playing around.
The Rona ain't playing.
You and T Wood, do your thing and get in, get out, get that dub. And if what you're saying is true, and we're going to get a lot of T Wood this summer, that's going to be fun because that division is just popping. There's a long list of names and everybody's got a little beef with each other. So that division could become the marquee division maybe for the next year or two.
Yeah, we thought it always has been actually, that division, but we're just a little biased.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Lightweights, they probably have a say in that a little bit. The bantamweights, there's a long list of bantamweights too. Triple C.
Oh man, I tell you what, the bantamweights, they've been my favorite division for like the last 2 years. I love the bantamweight division right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Coach. Thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it, and we'll possibly see you here soon in Las Vegas.
All right, guys, I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.